Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. All right, I've got my Omega display over here for a particular reason. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Watch check. I'm also wearing my wonderfully gigantic 45.5 Casino Royale Planet Ocean on the bracelet. That's insane, David. But why? Because we're back with another West Coast focus of Bond brands. And this one today, we've got a Bond brand that I think, you're probably well connected to. If you've seen any of my videos on Omega, you know that we are heading out, getting back in the plane, packing up again, and heading out to the West Coast amazing Omega Bond store. We're going to be walking through, and by the way, you're going to meet somebody very special that is well connected, a bit of a legend, if you will, in the Bond community, and that's Rohan. You're not going to see him, but you're going to feel his essence through the video. Let's take a look. Okay, we're here, finally. This is the Omega store in the Beverly Center, and of course we walked in, and what do? They greet us with a tray of beautiful Bollinger, not just any Bollinger, Omega Bollinger champagne. How cool is that? And a couple of waters, so we don't get too dehydrated as we take everything in. This place is massive. They have some incredible pieces. We're going to take a look at it, but before we do that, I just want to show you, there is a book over here. It's positioned almost like a testament, because as you can see, there are some amazing images in here of Daniel Craig and the watches. This is an Omega book. It's very unique. You, me, other people do not have this at home. And as we flip through it, for example, you get to see some of the images specifically blown up. And this is something that you could just go through while you're here, sip a little champagne. And you know what it does? It gets you in the mood for what we're about to see. And what are we about to see? Well, get ready, folks. We're going to take you on a little ride through the store. Okay, so that is just a quick strafing run of this place, but I had to invite Mr. West Coast himself, JW. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me on this brand tour that we're doing.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun so far.
It's been fun, and I had no idea. I had an inkling, but I had no idea that there were so many great Bond brands. And we're sitting in kind of a special place. First of all, I just said in the intro, they greet you with this. First of all, cheers to you.
Cheers.
And cheers to Omega. Thank you so much for hosting us. But I have to remark about something else, because something happened to John and I when we came in. We ran into your very good friend. He's a bit of a star here on the West Coast, and hopefully now he'll be a star everywhere in the world. Rohan. He looked at our watches and said, guys, let me take care of those. And he put them into some sort of sonic cleaner.
Yes.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog cleaner.
It wasn't even hello. It was give me your watches. Let me clean them immediately.
I mean, he inspects the watches. And first of all, we had to represent. So today I am wearing my honking Casino Royale 45.5 PO Planet Ocean on the band though, not on the rubber. And he looked at it. There was a smudge because I've been traveling all day to get here to the West Coast. He went back and this thing is sparkling like the sun. And what did you wear today?
I'm wearing the moon watch.
Ooh.
You know, take me to the moon. I knew David was coming into town, so I thought.
And we're moonlighting is what we're doing, is what he's saying. I don't know what that means. But that's what I'm talking about. We have hardly set foot in here, and this gentleman, Rohan, he basically makes sure that our watches look great, the product looks great, we feel great, we feel welcome, and now he sat us in this wonderful lounge where we can have a comfortable conversation. This is not a bougie brand. This is a luxury brand that understands it's about the experience. What do you think?
Absolutely. And the experience here, especially the Rohan, especially in this location at the Beverly Center in West Hollywood, is absolutely fantastic. Wonderful experience.
Yeah.
I think I'm on number 6. And part of the reason why I keep returning is because of this boutique, because of the people who work in the boutique. They
You
really
mean
always
7?
I know. We're not out of the store yet, by the way.
Yeah, but this is great. This is what I wanted to do, was to really tell people and explain and show that it's not about just the product or the brand. These come with great heritage. You're going to have an amazing product. But the people that are connected to the brand either make or break the experience. Now, we have a beautiful tray of watches we're going to show everybody pretty soon. But hold on a second. Just wait a bit. Because I want you to tell your story about your visits here. Like, tell us a little bit about the kind of the relationship that Rohan has helped you to create with Omega.
Yeah, I bought my first Aquaterra here, and the sales associate who was, I bought that from, moved on to work in a different place, and I called, Omega directly and said, who's my guy? They recommended Rohan. We immediately met with him. He's just been an incredible ally as far as my watch purchases go, about my relationship with Omega. Always takes tons of time, follows up with me, explains everything that's going on with the watches, makes suggestions, and above all, he's a huge Bond fan. So for those, and some people, when you go into a store and you say, "Hey, look, I'm a Bond fan," you get a little nervous. Like, how are they gonna, how are they gonna respond to that? Yeah. And Rohan knows his films and knows the history of the Bond watches. I mean, we walked in today and immediately he looked at yours and said, "Oh, the Planet Ocean." I mean, he knew what it was, and that's nice.
It's great too, because one of the things I know he's done with you, and he's done it with other people, is he'll help personalize it. Like, he knows that this 45.5 might not be for everybody. It's not for everybody, not just size-wise, but it's a personality connection as well.
Totally, absolutely. And he, can assess the customer with the watch. And again, it's just so refreshing to be able to come into a luxury boutique like this and be treated, in the most wonderful way. There's always chocolate, champagne. You go home with gifts outside of the watch. It just truly is a magnificent experience.
It feels like less about visiting a store and more about a special event.
Exactly.
It's like an event.
Yes.
When you go to the Omega store here on the West Coast, and quite frankly, several others that we've been to in the world. But this is wonderful that I like that they're keeping a consistent brand experience. Like, if I go to the one in New York, or if I go to the one in London, if I go to the one in Switzerland that I just went into, I feel that same, like these are friends.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy. But now, Rohan is quickly approaching. You can see with a beautiful tray, not of chocolate or champagne, but of watches, laying them down before us. And we're going to chat about them, because we've got to start with the elephant in the room, which is lighter than an elephant. And that is, of course, the No Time to Die watch that many of you have or coveted. Now, John, let's talk about this one, because this is one that it's on the tip of your tongue.
Right there. It is right there. It's beautiful. It really is. I mean, it's magnificent in person, especially in the lighting in here. They've got fantastic lighting. Yeah. And I'm so glad that this one is spoken for.
It is, but you know, it's tempting, right?
It
And
is.
got that
It's very
lightness.
tempting, especially right now. My gosh.
And there are
Incredible.
people, I mean, even lighter, you know, here's the one on the strap. So you see, this is kind of how Nomi wears it in the
Yeah.
movie on the strap. The strap is absolutely beautiful. I've told this story of the strap. You were with me when this happened. When we were at the Omega event last year, the press junket for No Time to Die, we were invited. We went. He represented the West Coast. I represented the Bond community. Go figure. And we sat there and we were talking to a gentleman from Omega, and I said, I love the strap. I didn't get the strap, but I love it. It's beautiful. And that night in my hotel room, they delivered the strap to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a great hotel.
it's a great hotel.
Well, and also, David, that day, if you haven't done this, come into the shop and look at this watch through a loop.
Oh.
Look at the detail, the color. It really is mind-blowing. So
It's-
if you're on the fence about it, come in, get under the loop, and it will blow your mind.
And let's get nostalgic for a second. This is kind of the updated version, if you will, the Seamaster that Brosnan has. But again, it looks totally different to the acute eye of people that really know, but it's still an absolutely beautiful watch. It's got the waves on it, which you can kind of see. And again, you've got this beautiful watch lighting above you that is just perfect. What I love about this place and all the Omega boutiques is they can change the lighting so you can see what your watch looks like during the day, the night, a nightclub.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then, all right, so we talked about his tip of the tongue. This one might be mine. The Aquaterra with the blue face. Do you have this?
Yeah, it's the first watch I ever bought, and I'm calling it the Robert Redford of watches.
Why?
Timeless, under any condition, goes with everything. Bathing suit, tuxedo. If I were only to have one, this would be it.
Is that true?
True.
Wow. And you get tons of compliments because
Tons of compliments. It's
I mean, it's got
gorgeous,
that teak
timeless.
look to it. I mean, it's so perfect. And I love the one from Skyfall. I love the one from Spectre. And I love the updated version of this, too.
Yes, absolutely.
What-
So is that the one you're walking out with?
I might. Don't tell Danielle. She doesn't watch these.
No, I hope
she
not.
does
It's a
watch
very
these now.
expensive.
And then you have these very special moments. So by the time this is airing, I'm hoping you've seen a video that our paisan, Lorenzo,
Lorenzo, yes.
of Omega Bond
Yeah.
Watches, has done with me, which is we talked about which watches we would want to see from Omega on the new James Bond's wrist in Bond 26. Doesn't even have a name, doesn't have an actor. And we picked out a few. So Lorenzo picked out this particular one, which might be a little hard to see, but it's got a beautiful blue face.
Gorgeous.
It looks almost like the Spectre one. It's got the lollipop second hand on it. And I mean, look at that. It's got the sandwich markers on it.
Yeah.
Kind of vintagey.
I love the blue. It's a gorgeous blue.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, here's why I'm showing this to you. Here's the same one in black on a steel strap. This is something really vital. And we're sitting in the store, we're enjoying our champagne and the environment, the music, the ambiance. You really don't know these watches until you get here in person. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. No, the pictures just don't do it. The video doesn't do these watches justice.
They don't. So Lorenzo went over these through like a PowerPoint with me, and I'm like, well, that's a beautiful watch. That's a beautiful watch. That's a great idea. Now that I'm holding this watch, I'm like, Lorenzo nailed it. I totally understand why he picked this particular watch. This is an absolutely gorgeous watch. And then this is the one, I know.
You gotta be kidding
This
me.
thing is tempting all around.
It feels so good on your wrist.
This is like the black on black.
deep black,
The
yeah.
deep black, it's called. Thank you for keeping me honest. But look at this watch, people. First of all, the strap is gorgeous. Looks like a shark skin. And then this is a utility piece.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are saying this is the new should be the new Commando.
He said this is the one that when Bond dresses up to kick ass and sneak around,
Yeah.
or to dive, or to set explosives,
Yeah.
this is the one.
Make love? Had to
The
go
most
there.
dangerous game of all is to make love. I don't know how the West Coast does it. In the East Coast, it's not dangerous.
Deep black.
It's not. And I had a choice too of the Bond 26, and I picked this one. Now it does, I get it. It harkens back to sort of an updated version of the Planet Ocean
Yes.
that you see from, well, gosh, Quantum and obviously this one. But again, this one, I think you admired this one
Beautiful,
as well.
yeah.
Beautiful white markers, the hands. It just, and again, it feels solid, like a knuckle duster, like Fleming talked about.
And it is interesting seeing the sort of updated versions of the watches that we've seen and loved for the last 15, 16 years.
It is. It is. One last thing I want to talk about, because again, we talked about the in-store experience, we talked about the hospitality, the connection, and the people. This is really important because we haven't talked about brand loyalty. Now, you had said something earlier. I won't repeat exactly what it said.
We can say it.
But you said that there's
Yes.
maybe somebody in your life that is likes another brand,
Yes.
and maybe you need to get her more involved with Omega.
Yes.
That comes from a series of moments living with a brand and becoming so loyal
Yeah.
that you want to share it with others. Talk to me about that.
Well, yes, I have a girlfriend who loves Rolex, and I'm trying to do my best to convert her to Omega, and I have the Aquaterra, and I was kind of just admiring the ladies' version of the blue Aquaterra. Dare I say his and hers?
When's her birthday?
It just passed.
Retroactive gift goes well.
We are rolling
in a
into the
bag.
holidays. We're rolling into the holidays.
We are. We got Halloween coming up. It makes a great Halloween gift, ladies and gentlemen.
That was some candy corn.
Yeah, but here's what I like. I always talk to people about, you know something, if you're going to save up for something, your first luxury watch, a special event, check out Omega. The heritage, the people, the brand, the item, how it's going to make you feel, the movie connection, all that. Ultimately, I think the brand itself, through the experiences that they create, like in store like this, creates these loyalists.
Totally.
Right? I mean, we're kind of like a little bit maven, a little bit, friends of the brand that want to crow about this.
Absolutely. I found that now on number 6, that 4 of 6 are actual Bond watches, but now I'm sort of branching out. I want a dress watch that looks great with a suit. Go with the DeVille. I'm a huge fan of NASA, the Apollo 11 project. Give me that right there.
What about Snoopy?
No, I don't have that. Evidently, that's very expensive and difficult to find. Is that it?
Both.
There's a whole history. Yes.
And
Good for them. If that is the jam in your jelly roll, I think that's wonderful.
I've tried on the Snoopy
Yeah.
before. It is really whimsical and great.
Yeah.
Not something I would gravitate to, but it's okay because it's super rare anyway.
Totally. Could be the next Bond watch.
Can you imagine? Bond goes to Woodstock to wear the Snoopy. It writes itself. Listen, JW.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Always representing. Maybe you'll see him at another brand. Who knows? We'll see. But in the meantime, this has been David Zritsky for the Bond Experience, and we'll see you all real soon. Take care. Okay, don't go anywhere because we got to do the aftermath, right? We got to tell you about kind of what transpired. It's always the most interesting thing when the video and the camera stops and you can just connect with the people. So we were able to sit with Rohan for a while and just relax. Nobody was rushed. Nobody was ushering people out. It's like you want to enjoy the watches, take a look at the watches. You want a little more tipple, have a little more tipple. But most of all, we told stories, wonderful, positive stories about the brands, about the Bond fans and the Bond community that have come in to purchase these watches or to even investigate. We know this is an investment. May not be the first time you come into the store. Maybe the first time you're coming into the store is to just drink in the brand essence. And Rohan exceeds expectations. I want to put him as much on a pedestal as the brand, because with some brands out there, and not just Bond brands, but any brand, sometimes the connection of product doesn't meet the customer experience and certainly doesn't meet the employees that work for the brand. Rohan exceeds it. Rohan is the type of individual that he not only understands his product, he not only understands the fact that we're all there for an elevated experience, but he also understands that he is the conduit, the Sherpa from Omega to us. And so it's not just about knowing the products or bringing out a watch and sitting back. It's about really immersing yourself in the brand. Like I mentioned, I walked in, he looked at my watch, he inspected it very quickly, said, give it to me. He cleaned it, no pomp and circumstance, no extra charge. There are these things that he's learned on his own. For example, he's learning about the technical aspects, the servicing aspect, so he can be a better conduit, a better partner in your progress to the brand. That's crazy. I mean, who does that nowadays? So to me, he's brought that old world charm of kind of traditional customer experience to a very modernized company that's doing things right. Trust me, if you go into other watch brands, which I have before, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with that connection to the individual that wants to exceed the expectations of what he brings to the table. I know he's one of the rising stars of Omega. He's going to be so embarrassed to see this, but Rohan deserves to be praised. I'm sorry, he just does. As much as the product that you walk out with is the feeling that you have based on the people that have ushered you through this company moment. All right, that's an amazing Omega thing. I know we loved it. You heard us waxing poetic about it and looking at those watches. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll probably be back for another West Coast Bond brand because there's more to come. In the meantime, this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and we'll see you real soon. Oh, look at that. Wow. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.